For more than 20 years, my next guest, Matt Allwright's been a consumer champion. And he joins me today ahead of the release of his brand new book, Watchdog, The Consumer Survival Guide. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Andy. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, very good. Very chipper today. How's it going?
Quite right, too. So what made you write this book?
Well, you know, after 23 years on the Watchdog beat, you just gather a lot of stories, and it just seemed like it was the right time to get some of that out there and also mix it up with, I think, the advice that a lot of people would love to have at their fingertips when they're in a shop, when they're online, or where they're making a call to complain about something. Just put all of that in one place, and that's it. Look, we've now got it. We can actually... you can go and get that on Thursday, and in there you'll not only find out how to run your consumer world, but also hear a lot of the stories about what's happened to us when we're out on the road making road traders or making Watchdogs. So it's really packed full of that stuff.
I was lucky enough to have the book over the weekend, and I made some notes in it. And it did feel like there's a gap in the market because it's kind of like a consumer Bible, I would say.
Yeah, what I wanted it to be was the essentials rather than like the definitive version on everything where you go into everything in great depth. I wanted something that you could ideally just perch in your loo and then just pick up and dip in every now and again and pick up something that would be useful to you later on. And so I wanted really clear, simple ideas, like the idea that out of the blue, not for you. If something comes unsolicited to your door or through email or through the post, then the chances are it's not something you need or want. And those kind of big ideas, I think if they're in the back of your mind, wherever you are, then they're going to help you out one way or the other.
Another phrase, you know, it sounds too good to be true.
Now, there's an interesting one. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. The problem with that phrase, I've always thought, is that, of course, you think it's good when you're buying it, and it's only afterwards that you often realise that it was too good to be true. So I think you need other rules around that which sort of shepherd you in the right direction, which make you ask questions like, why is this person contacting me with a deal that's so good for me? Why aren't they keeping it to themselves? Because that's the thing that you should do if you've got something that's really good. You know, the commercial world tries and keeps those secrets to itself rather than calling people out of the blue and saying, you want to be part of this. And once you use that kind of logic that's set out in the book, you start to look at the world in a different way. And you start to, I think, hopefully, you should start making better choices.
Now, a lot of people will be watching this now thinking, you know, there's often times I want to complain if you're staying in a hotel, if you're in a shop. When is the best time to complain? When you're there and in the moment, or should you always put it into a formal letter?
No, definitely in the moment. Your best chance of resolving something is if you're speaking to the person that has direct responsibility for having made that happen. So you want to start on that very kind of empathetic level, I always think. Go straight to the front desk and say, you know what, this is not working out for me. And rather than leave it till later and get really formal so it becomes a situation, give that person the chance to resolve it themselves. Now, if they can't or if they won't, that's another matter. But the thing I always say is worth remembering is the person on the other side of that argument is a customer as well of something else.
Yes.
So appeal to that sense of empathy and say, listen, I don't think you'd want this to happen to you.
Yeah.
So let's not make it happen for me.
Yeah. And also, you've got to remember, all these big companies have something called service recovery. They want to recover you as a customer. They want you to stay. So always bear that in mind. Right, I've got a few quick-fire topics for you, Matt, that very quickly, I'd love you just to tell me, you know, your little sort of hints and tips. First and foremost, at this time where we're taking holidays or not taking holidays, if my flight is cancelled by the airline, what rights do I have?
OK, so that goes back to a European law, EC 261, which is very, very simple. This is on the basis that it's either leaving or going back to an EU country. On that basis, you get your money back within 7 days for a cancelled flight. Now, the temptation at the moment is to look at what's happening, holidays and that sort of thing, and cancel yourself. Don't. Let the company cancel, because you get so many more rights than if you decide not to go yourself. Disinclination to travel, that's called. And it wipes away a lot of your rights. OK,
Matt, thank you very much. I've got one more quickly. You've bought a pair of shoes, the heels go, but after 3 months of you wearing them just once a day to work and back, do I have any rights?
You absolutely do. The Consumer Rights Act of 2015 says that things should be of a satisfactory quality as described and have a reasonable lifespan. 3 months for a pair of shoes, it's not long enough. Go back, quote the CRA 2015 and say it's not good enough. I either want a repair, a refund or replacement. If they can't repair it, you get one of the other two.
Matt, absolutely brilliant. Thanks very much for your time. The book, The Consumer Survival Guide, is out this Thursday.
Don't forget, you can watch full episodes of Lorraine on the ITV Hub and all the best clips, compilations and playlists right here on our channel. Just subscribe now and you'll never miss an upload. Click here to watch another video similar to this one, or click here to head to our channel's homepage to explore all of our exciting videos.